Now let's take a look at the Classwork tab and how we create assignments in Google Classroom. So we're going to start on the Classwork tab, and we have this button here that says Create. And when we click on it, we have lots of different options, and we're going to go through each of those. We're going to start actually with topics. So you can create different topics that you can use to organize your assignments and materials in Google Classroom. I love to use topics because it helps me keep everything for the same unit or the same time frame together. So let's just create a few topics. So let's say we are going to have a chemistry unit. And so I'm going to create a chemistry topic. And I'm going to create a few more just so I will have them. So you can create as many of these as you want. You can organize them however you would like so that you will be able to organize your assignments. Okay, you don't have to create your topics all ahead of time. You can actually do them when you start creating assignments as well. But to create a topic that you might want to later use to organize your assignments, you just go to Create, Topic, and then you can type in whatever you want to call it. So now that we have some topics made, let's take a look at some of our other options. And the first one we're going to look at is a material. So a material would be something that students don't actually have to do any work on. That's not something that needs to be turned back into you. So think of it as maybe reference materials or things that you just want them to be able to view and look at but don't have to do anything else with. So let's just say that we're going to put a chemistry review on this one as just a material. So I can give it a title. Again, I can give it any kind of description or instructions here that I want. And then I'm going to attach something from my Google Drive. And so I'm going to find the file that I want to use for this assignment or this material. I'm going to pop this in, and so it's going to go in here as a PDF document, and then I am going to be able to decide what classes I want it to go to. So if I'm already in my science class, if I want it to be assigned to multiple classes, I can do that. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. I can actually choose which students I want it to go to. I can choose a topic. So this is a chemistry review, so I'm going to give it the topic of chemistry. And then I am going to go ahead and hit post on this. And now I can see that if I scroll down through here, when I find my chemistry topic, I can find that material listed here. So that is how you can post a material, just something that is referenced for students to look at. Another option under classwork is to create a question. This is a great option for either a bell ringer or maybe a formative assessment or exit slip at the end of the class. So when I go to create and question, I can do a couple of different types of questions. I can do a short answer question, or I can do a multiple choice question. And then I'm going to type the question in here. So I'm going to say, tell me 2 things you learned today and 1 thing you are still curious about. And then if I need to give further instructions to that, I can. Because this one is a question, I have a few more options over here. So again, I can decide which classes, which students it goes to. I can give this a point value if I want it to be graded, or if it's just a bell ringer or a formative assessment that I don't want to be graded, I can mark it as ungraded. I can choose a due date and decide when I want that assignment to be due. And then I can also give this one a topic if it falls into a specific unit or topic that I'm covering. I can decide if I want students to be able to reply to each other after they have answered their question, and I can also decide if I want students to be able to edit the answer to their question after they submitted it. Once I have all that ready, I can click on Ask, and it's going to post that question. I can see that that question goes under my topic of general information on my classroom page. Now let's look at a few different examples of creating an actual assignment in Google Classroom. So again, I'm going to go to Create, and I'm going to choose Assignment this time. And I'm going to put in a title. So let's say that I am teaching my students about natural disasters. And we are doing a lesson where we are learning about devices that are available to detect natural disasters. So I'm going to put my title in here now. Again, I could type in a whole list of instructions and bullet points, and I could bold and italicize and underline those instructions as I need to. And then I'm going to go down here again, and I'm going to attach a file that students are going to need to use with this assignment. So I'm going to up that, and I'm going to pop this Google slide deck into my assignment. Now, a couple of things that I want to point out when we are creating an assignment that look different from the question and the material that we previously posted. So first of all, if I'm attaching anything to this assignment from my Google Drive, it's going to show up down here. And then I'm going to have some options, and it's very important that you always pay attention to which option you choose for how you want this assignment to be presented to students. By default, whatever you attach will always show up as Students Can View File. This just means that when a student opens this assignment, they can open this document and they can look at it, they can read it, but they can't edit it or do anything to it. And you may want that for some documents that you attach to an assignment. The second option is students can edit the file. This would mean that every student in your class that you make this assignment to will be able to open and edit the same file. Now, you may want this if you are having the entire classroom work on the same Google slide deck or Google form, and they're doing some type of collaboration project. So you may want that as an option. But probably the option that you are going to use most often is make a copy for each student. When you do this and you make the assignment to go into Google Classroom, every student in that class is going to get their own copy of the Google slide deck that they can open, edit, and then turn into you for grading. This is the one that probably gets used the most often, but you can use any of them. Just make sure that you are choosing the right one when you create the assignment. So I've got my assignment. I want to make a copy for each student. Again, I can go up here and choose which class or classes I want it to go to, which students. I can do a point value. Once again, I can do a due date. I can choose a topic. And for an assignment, I could also, if I had a rubric that students needed to follow for the assignment, I could add in a rubric. You can actually choose Create Rubric, and it's going to open up a template where you actually create the rubric straight in Google Classroom. You could also, if you've already created a rubric previously, reuse that rubric, or if you have a rubric created in Google Sheets, you can import it from there. In addition, if you are having students do a writing assignment where they are having to cite their sources, you can actually have them check for plagiarism. If you check this box and then you assign it, then students can not only check their own work for plagiarism before they turn it in, but once they turn it into you and you go to grade it, you can run what's called originality reports or check for plagiarism, and it will give you any instances where Google thinks that the assignment might be plagiarized, and it will actually show you the websites that it believes that those plagiarisms came from. So you are able to do that within an assignment if you check that box for checking plagiarism. Okay. Now you want to assign your assignment to Google Classroom. There's a few options here as well. So first of all, I could just click Assign. When I do that, that's going to put it straight out to Google Classroom immediately. Students will be able to view it, have access to it, and work on the assignment. And you may want to do that, and that's absolutely fine. But we also have some other options. First of all, you could always save this draft for later if you're not quite done creating the assignment. If you want to trash it, you can do that. Then you can schedule an assignment. So this would be like if you were creating the assignment the day before, but you didn't want it to go to students' Google Classroom page until right before class started, you could schedule an assignment. You could put in when you want it to be posted, and then you could put in the time. So if you have a class that starts at 8 a.m., then you could say it's not going to show up until April 18th at 8 a.m. When students come into your 8 a.m. class, then they will see that assignment there. Okay. Another great thing that you can do is say you teach multiple sections of the same class. So each class is going to have the same assignment, but you don't want every class to have it posted first thing in the morning. You want that assignment to post at the beginning of each scheduled class. So that's where I can go in here, and I've already got it for my Science 1 class, but let's say I also want to post this assignment for a second class. I'm going to click both classes, and now when I go up here and I click on Schedule, I see both classes here. And for each class, I can choose the day that I want it to go live on their Google Classroom and the time. So if this class starts at 8 a.m., then it's going to publish here at 8 a.m. Then on the second classroom, I can go in and let's say it starts at 10 a.m. So I'm going to choose and change that time to 10 a.m. I can change and put the due date that I want for that one, and I can also assign this one a topic as well. And so I've done that, and I can hit schedule. And then when I do that, it will hold it kind of as a draft on the teacher side of my Google Classroom, and then it will post to students' Google Classroom at that particular time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit assign, so this will go into my assignments. And once it does that, because I put this assignment under natural disasters, this assignment will show up under that topic when it finishes assigning. So now if I scroll down to natural disasters, I can see that I have that assignment here. I know it's an assignment based on this icon that I can see. A couple of other options when you are creating assignments. You could create a quiz. So you might have created a quiz or an assessment in Google Forms that you want to put in Google Classroom for students to take. Now, there are a couple of things I want to point out here. There is a quiz assignment option. I very rarely, if ever, have used this, but I want to point it out to you. When I click on that option, it actually looks like an assignment, except for it has put a blank quiz here that I can then click on and create my form within Google Classroom. However, most of the time I'm going to create my form ahead of time, so that's not an option that I'm going to choose. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go back to create, and I'm going to choose assignment again. And I'm going to put in my fossils quiz, and I'm going to go to Google Drive once again, and I'm going to find that Google form that is the quiz that I want to put in. And I'm going to select that quiz and hit add. Now, a couple of things are going to happen. Because this is a quiz, a Google form, it's automatically going to turn on grade importing so that Classroom can import grades from the Google form once it's graded straight into Google Classroom. It's also going to give me the option to lock down the Chromebooks and put it on locked mode when students are taking this quiz so that students can not go to anything else other than that quiz when they're taking it. Okay. Again, I can choose class, students, give it points, choose a due date, put in a topic, add a rubric, add for plagiarism if I need to. And then once I'm ready, I can always assign or I can schedule once again. Lastly, remember that you can also, in an assignment, put in things like a YouTube video. So I could go in and I could attach a YouTube video. I could search for a topic, or I could put in a URL, and I could add a video in for students to watch. I could put in just a link to a website, copy and paste a URL there for students to be able to click on and go directly to. So lots of different resources that can be added to assignments in Google Classroom. The last option that I want to talk to you about is the ability to reuse a post. I think this is great if you tend to use the same or similar assignments year to year in your classes. So if you created a great assignment in a Google Classroom last year and you want to reuse that assignment and you don't want to have to retype all of the instructions and re-find all of the attachments, you can reuse a post. So I'm going to go to Create and Reuse Post. And first of all, what will come up is all of the classes that you have ever had in Google Classroom. And if you've been teaching for a while, it's probably going to be a lot of them. Okay. And so you can find the class that you are looking for. And then within that class, you will see all of the posts that you ever made. So you can go through and you can find a post that you are wanting to reuse. Once you find that post, that you are wanting to reuse, then you can click on it and you can hit reuse. And it is going to open up that assignment and it is going to provide the name, whatever you named it before, the instructions, and any attachments that you need. You can assign it to whatever classes, give it the point value. Again, you can put a due date on there, and you can assign it a topic. The only things that won't be recopied again are the due date and the topic. So you'll have to go in and assign those, and then you can assign that assignment just like you do any other. You can always go in and edit the title or edit the instructions, but this gives you a good basis for where you can start to reuse an assignment without having to completely recreate everything that you did before. And when you're finished, you can assign that and it will go into your classwork stream and you can see that assignment there. So another option when you are creating assignments is to reuse posts from previous classes. I want to go back to our stream for just a moment because when we were talking about our stream earlier, I mentioned that there are different options you can choose for what you view on your stream. So we have it set right now where all we are seeing on our stream are announcements, things that I go up here, create and type, and they display on my stream kind of as like a news feed or your social media post and stream that you could scroll through. But we can change that up a little bit so that we also see assignments posted there. And this is just a preference for you to choose from. So I'm going to go back up to my settings and I'm going to scroll down to stream. And so right now I have hide notifications on there. So that means that only the announcements that I post are going to show up on my stream. I'm going to change that to show attachments and details. And let's take a look at how that changes my stream. So now, not only am I seeing those early announcements that I put on, but I'm also seeing all of the assignments that I put on here as well. And they are going to show up. You're going to see the title of the assignment. Then you're going to see any attachments that are there, how many people it's assigned to, what it is, and if you type in any instructions, they're going to be there. So you're going to see all of that in detail. The other option within your stream is to choose for it to be a condensed notification. So I'm going to choose that one. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So what you still see here are all of the postings, including those announcements and all of the assignments. Here's my material, my question, and my assignment, but all you see is the title. You don't get the details and the attachments. Again, this is just a preference as to what you want to display on your stream, but I wanted to show you how it can look different. The last thing I want to show you under assignments is what it looks like from the student view. So here I am logged in as a student, and I can see on my stream that my teacher has posted a couple of announcements, so I can see those. And then if I go to the classwork tab, now I can see all the assignments that my teacher has given me. I can see them listed under category. And I can see any of them that have been completed, have not been completed. So anything that here is in green has not been completed. Anything down here that's a material or that I don't have to do anything with and the date is passed is going to be kind of grayed out. If I click on an assignment, I will be able to see that detail, and then I can click View Instructions, and I will get the instructions. I will get the link. I will see a due date. I'll notice that whatever I assigned this, the due date has already passed. It tells me that it was actually due yesterday, so it has it marked as missing. If it wasn't missing, then it would just give me the due date and I would be able to turn that in. But the student will be able to see all of their assignments and when they are due in the classwork stream. So that is what it looks like for a student.